Hey guys, it's TJ with DominateDepression.com. Today I'm going to talk about situational versus biological or physical depression. Because a lot of people are always emailing me and they're saying, hey, am I crazy or is it just because of my situation? Is it because I'm stressed going through college and I'm breaking up with my partner? Or is there something going on inside me and that's why I'm depressed? So I get that asked all the time. So today I'm going to talk about situational versus biological depression, how they interact with each other and what to do about it. So in the first case, you're physically okay, everything's working in your body, but situation is messed up. So let's say you break up with your partner, you lose your job, something major happens in your life and you feel down because of it. So for example, like one of my best buddies growing up, he just died, most likely suicide, about 3 weeks ago. I moved to a new town. I just heard I might have Lyme disease. It's like, now I got to deal with all these other health problems. I already had all these health problems. So I've felt very overwhelmed. You know, new town, all alone, so everything was extremely hard. Kind of taking me a little longer to get up in the morning. But then as the weeks go on, you know, I start to meet more people, I start to grieve, I start to accept the emotions, and then that sadness goes away. And so situational depression, it's very different because it's all based on external circumstances that are affecting you, and it's usually just temporary sadness. So if you have a situation going on, all you have to do to fix it is just have to work through the emotions, you know, get some help, deal with it, solve the problem, change something externally, and then it'll go away. And so most people, they know how to deal with that. Most people that actually email in is because of something that's actually biological or physical, which is very different than a situational depression. So a biological depression, you could have a mansion, you could be living, you know, in the nicest house in the entire world, have no worries, millions of dollars, and if you physically are depressed, you can still feel worse than the person that lost the job, lost their wife, lost everything. This person can feel worse than the person with the situational depression because it's something that's happening physically that's making it so your brain's not functioning properly, you're not producing the right neurotransmitters, so you can't feel good. So example of this, I tried everything. So when I was depressed, you know, I had depression 11 years, I had a bullet bike, I was doing all sorts of crazy things, you know, I was giving public speeches, I ran a marathon, and then what really made me realize, hey, this isn't my life, there's nothing wrong with my life that's making me depressed, is when I went skydiving. I jumped out of a plane, shoot and everything, and I land and I didn't feel anything. People thought it was the weirdest thing ever because I didn't even care. I literally felt no adrenaline. It was like whatever. And that's when I knew, hey, there's something biological happening here. And so if you have biological depression, it doesn't matter how much you try to fix the situation, you're still going to have that issue. And how you solve the biological depression is you have to fix the actual root cause. So in my case, I had a vitamin D magnesium deficiency, I had sensitivities to gluten, fixed my diet, and resolved all that, and then the depression went away. But it's not always one or the other. It's not always black and white. They can actually interplay with each other. You can have situational depression and biological depression playing into each other. So for example, let's say you physically everything's fine and all of a sudden you lose your job and your partner divorces you all at the same time. All of a sudden you're stressed out, your cortisol levels are going through the roof, it's causing you to not digest properly, you're not getting enough sleep, so your body starts breaking down, you're not digesting nutrients as much, and now situational depression just started affecting you physically. And on the reverse, let's say you have a magnesium deficiency, for example. This is causing anxiety, it's causing depression, and since you have this physical problem, now you're not hanging out with your friends as much. Maybe you're missing a few days at work and it's hurting your career. Maybe you lose your job because of the physical depression, and now you have situational problems interplaying with each other. And so the reason why I bring this up is because a lot of people say, hey, you know, I'm doing all your stuff, I'm starting to feel better, but should I be doing therapy as well? You know, it's almost like they think I'm going to say, no, don't do therapy, because most of my site actually focuses on the physical part of it. And no, you should do therapy, get support, do as much as you can. You should be attacking the depression on all angles. You should be fixing your situation, external circumstances, and fixing your body all at the same time. The only reason why I have such an emphasis on the physical part is because society, we already have a million different resources that helps the cognitive, you know, reverse your thoughts, reframe this, fix this. But a lot of people don't realize that there's the physical problems as well. They go to the doctor, say, hey, I'm depressed, and they talk to him for 5 minutes, say, here's a pill. Here you go, here's this antidepressant. And the reason why antidepressants can work so well in the short term is because they do change the chemistry in your brain so you feel different. Now all of a sudden you see your external circumstances differently, but they don't actually solve the problem long term, because let's say, for example, you have a magnesium vitamin D deficiency. It doesn't matter how much Celexa or Zoloft you take, you still have the magnesium and vitamin D deficiency. You have to take the magnesium vitamin D to actually fix that. So it's not saying, hey, depression is either one thing or the other. They both play into each other, and so you should always be attacking from both angles because they interplay. It's not always a black and white situation. Okay, so how do you use this information to actually stay depression free, right? You have to think long term versus short term. Because what are we always sold? We're always sold the quick solution. We're always sold the Band-Aid quick fix. And why is that? It's because it's easy, right? Our brain is always going to go for the easy route. That's how we survived through all the years. And so I get 3 to 5 people emailing me every single day, say, hey, I've been on Paxil for 5 years. I'm just as depressed as before, and now I have to wean off this medication. You know, I just took Zoloft for 2 years, and now I feel like crap, and now I can't get off this medication, right? It's because it's not actually solving the problem. So you want to attack depression from all angles, and you got to think of this as a long game versus a short game, right? It's so easy to sell someone, here's this one quick cognitive trick, and you're going to feel better forever. Everybody's going to click on that. Everybody's going to want to buy that, right? But it's a lot harder to say, okay, what's actually causing my depression? Okay, I have some stressors in my environment, but also I've been eating like crap and sleeping like crap. Maybe I'm allergic to gluten. Maybe you got to go get tests from the doctor. Maybe you got to check your hormonal levels. And when you actually do that, that's when you'll actually be able to feel better, and you'll be able to feel better long term. You won't have to deal with all this crap over and over and over, because you're going to actually fix the actual problem. So that video covers about situational versus biological depression. So make sure you trust how you feel. However you feel inside, that's the truth, right? If you come home, you see your kids, and you feel weird because like you just don't feel good around them, it's not because you're a bad person. There's something physically happening inside. Your situation can be great, but physically you can still be depressed, and vice versa. You can be physically okay and your situation can be really bad. So just keep that in mind, trust yourself, know what you're feeling is real, use that as a compass to actually find the root causes of your depression, and let's actually fix the root causes so you're depression free long term. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. Let me know any of your experiences with situational versus biological depression, and I'll see you next time.